back to Toasted Travelers.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm excited to talk about mental health today because it is such a serious topic. I think I just want to start out by you introducing yourself, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do here at Next Move.
Gotcha. So I'm Caleb Skyles. I am the director of recruiting here at Next Move. I am also a registered nurse. I was a travel ICU nurse for about 5 years before joining Next Move. And I'm also an influencer here at Next Move. So I'm in most of the social media content. So yeah, should be familiar.
Yeah, a familiar face. I want to talk about your agency that you were with when you were traveling, and I want to know specifically when you were struggling with your mental health, is there anything that they did for you?
No.
Okay.
However, I will say they didn't do anything for me per se, but I also didn't ask anything of them. So, I never really shared with my agency, nor did I really feel it was necessary to do so, just because, again, things have changed a ton just even in the last 5 years in terms of awareness. I didn't feel like I needed to ever let them know I was struggling or needed access to things. I'm sure they would have been happy to provide, but it wasn't something that they were super proactive about.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you wish they would have provided for you?
Just a little bit more awareness, whether it was even a newsletter of like, hey, these are the resources that we offer.
Yeah.
This is how you access your mental health benefits on our website, things like that. And again, even if I was to go back, 4 or 5 years and look at the emails they were sending, I may have got something like that. But the thing is with things like mental health, like you kind of have to be hit over the head with it sometimes, and you have to really remove barriers. People will really jump through hoops for excuses on why they're not helping themselves. This is my opinion, but
that's a good point.
Yeah, and you really have to remove as many barriers as possible between the patient, me, and either a counselor, or physician, or whoever that is, to get them to help themselves and get access. So one thing when I think about that in the context of maybe my previous agency is that they probably had the resources that I needed, but I didn't feel like they were, readily available.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, the last thing I want to touch on is, can you speak to what Next Move does for our clinicians in regards to mental health?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that we do a good job of everything that I just described. So it's like one thing that we have thought about over the last few years is that, hey, we want to be thought leaders in mental health. We want to not only recognize and put on our website that, hey, nurse burnout is happening, hey, nurses are dealing with real mental health issues more than ever. And we wanted it to just be more than a blog about that. We wanted it to be, hey, these things are happening and this is what you can do about it. We want the amount of clicks that it takes from the time that you see that on our website or via email or our benefits to get from there to help to be as small a number as possible. And yeah, again, it's one of those things where we want to be proactive in it. And I think that is something that we can be better about, but that I think we're already doing a good job of.
Yeah.
Like I said, our big thing is we want to do more than talk about it.
Sure.
So yeah, that's actually been a big focus of ours this last year. That's also probably why I'm talking today.
Yeah.
So, this is something that we want to be serious about. And again, not just, we don't want it to be another blog piece, whatever, of something that nurses already know. They're like, yeah, we know we're burnt out. What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing about it. So we have a dedicated links on our website for mental health resources. We have it in our benefits package. We have mental health resources. So we also have our chief clinical officer, John Haymack. He makes personal calls to clinicians. He's been valuable with talking to clinicians about their mental health, what they can do about it. he's also a clinician, so he really gets what it's like to be a nurse. He's an ICU nurse. So yeah, I mean, there's no one better to talk to than somebody who's gone through a lot of the same struggles. So
sure,
yeah.
we're lucky to have him for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm a clinician, I'm struggling, where do I start? Like, what would be the first step? If I'm not ready to reach out, what would you recommend?
So I think there's a question in there. The question that really has two different answers. So one is if I'm a next move nurse.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to direct you to our website because there are resources there. You can speak with your recruiter who can get you in touch with our benefits team that can help you there, or get you in touch with our chief clinical officer to talk. Then there's what you can do if you're not a next move nurse. And that is do what I did, which is start Googling therapists. So there's a million resources now for like websites that tell you therapists in your area, what they specialize in, how much they cost, what insurance they take. You know, the internet's your friend. The other thing is tell somebody. If you are a nurse, you undoubtedly have friends at work who are also nurses that should be somewhat equipped to understand the language you're speaking. So tell somebody. As John Nolan, our CEO, likes to say, don't freak out, reach out. So I mean, talk to somebody about it, and if you let somebody know, it really helps you cross the finish line of getting support. So, you know, if I have a friend that I've told, hey, struggling with anxiety, or hey, I'm struggling with this patient's death, they're pretty good about holding you accountable to getting help. So that helps set you up for success by doing that. The other thing you can do is you can flip your insurance card around. There's a number on the back. You're able to call and say, hey, needing mental health counseling, therapy, whatever, be a psychiatrist, who are providers in my area. They can also hook you up that way. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. You just have to decide what you're going to do it.
Right.
Really.
Right. Take that first step.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Awesome.
I appreciate you being open and sharing. I know it's going to help a lot of people. So
awesome. Happy.
Thank you.
All right.